I very respect this guy because I think it's very tough, my opponent.
It wouldn't surprise me, but like I say, I don't see there's any harm in it. It didn't bring the sport into disrepute in any way. This is the show business world that we live in. There's the fight game and then there's the fight business. And from the business perspective, that's probably just sold another 1 million tickets worldwide to people to watch this fight. Because
the Moses Itama versus Usyk press conference just exploded into chaos. Itama's shocking slap wasn't just an act of disrespect. It was a statement. But going after a master strategist like Usyk is dangerous. Usyk thrives on pressure. And if Moses thinks intimidation will work, he might be walking straight into a trap.
European medals, gold medals, and a world title. And as a professional, I'm looking to replicate that and doing it quicker than the youngest.
The atmosphere around Moses Itama versus Usyk has reached another level entirely. As Duke McKenzie highlights, this fight isn't just for hardcore fans. It's uniting generations. From young prospects to boxing veterans, everyone's eyes are locked on this historic clash and the pressure is building fast.
Get that right. However, the intrigue that surrounds this fight, I've got young kids in my gym that are going to be tuning into this
Three
fight.
generations are going to watch it, aren't they? That's what's great.
To me, they're so excited about it.
And Moses isn't backing down either. He claims this moment has been more than a decade in the making. Moses' confidence is boiling over and he's making it crystal clear. 11 years of blood, sweat, and sacrifice have led to this moment. But declaring war on Oleksandr Usyk is a different battlefield altogether. Usyk's ring IQ, experience, and composure could turn Moses' dream into a night.
And I've been boxing since I was 9 years old. I've been boxing more than half my life, so it might seem like it's been an overnight success, but this is...
And now boxing analysts are reacting strongly. Some calling Moses fearless, while others say he's crossed the line completely. Johnny Nelson's words cut deep. This wasn't just a personal attack on Usyk. This was a strike at the very integrity of boxing. By crossing that line, Moses has divided the boxing world. Is he a fearless young lion making a statement or a
press conference? I thought, why is that just slid in the radar? Why does nobody make a big deal of that?
It was a class touch,
That's
man.
a massive touch.
Yeah.
And so all of the promoters...
Tony Bello brings a chilling reality check. A slap might seem harmless, but the damage near the eye can be permanent. Careers have ended over less. If Usyk had been injured here, the entire fight could collapse before it even began. Showing just how
in the face towards the eye.
In the ear as well.
People have to realise that I've got 2 scratched eyeballs, and the eyeball's the part of the body, it never heals. Yeah. So the best way to explain it is it would be like varnishing a door, and the varnish comes off, and then you've got to re-put the varnish back on.
Yeah, nice.
The liquid on the eye comes off in the cornea, gets damaged.
And yet, despite the controversy, the hype around this clash is reaching unprecedented levels. Tony Bello sums it up perfectly. This isn't just a fight. This is a cultural event. The Moses Ita versus Usyk rivalry has transcended boxing and become a national spectacle. The slap incident has fueled emotions, debates, and endless headlines, turning casual viewers into passionate fans overnight. Everyone from analysts to legends knows they're witnessing history in the making. But behind the glitz and media frenzy lies a brutal reality. One man's legacy will rise and the others could shatter. For Usyk, this is about defending his throne and proving his technical brilliance. For Moses, it's about seizing destiny and proving he belongs on the world stage. This fight isn't just massive, it's generational.
This fight's just took another toll.
It's absolutely grabbed the public interest now to another level, isn't it?
This is, quite simply, the biggest fight this country's ever seen.
Adam Smith's analysis captures the essence of boxing drama. While the slap was controversial, it's undeniable that it's pushed the Usyk versus Itama showdown into the global spotlight. In a sport built on rivalry and raw emotion, moments like these add layers of intensity to the narrative. Fans are no longer just tuning in for punches. They're invested in the storyline, the tension, and the stakes. It's a reminder that boxing is unpredictable. Sometimes messy, sometimes shocking, but always electrifying. For Usyk, this is another test of his composure and veteran mindset. For Moses, it's the ultimate gamble. He's built attention, but now he must deliver when it matters most. One mistake on fight
Casual fans, do we condone it? I mean, in boxing terms, should that happen at a head-to-head? Of course not, but these things do happen. This is the fight business, and it's just made it even bigger, and we wait to see what happens next.
Duke McKenzie doesn't hold back, and his words carry weight. In a sport where respect between fighters often defines their legacies, Moses' actions have raised serious questions about his maturity. Slapping a champion like Usyk might have gained headlines, but it's also put enormous pressure on Moses to back up his words with action. Every punch, every move inside the ring will now be scrutinized, and one lapse in focus could be disastrous. On the other hand, Usyk thrives in chaos. The Ukrainian maestro has faced louder crowds, bigger stages, and fiercer opponents. And each time he's risen above the noise. If Moses thought this slap would mentally rattle Usyk, he may have just awakened a beast determined to teach the young lion a brutal lesson.
Sure, but he's had that experience. There isn't anybody on Conor Benn's resume that you could even suggest has been anywhere near of that sort of caliber of boxer, and he knows his way around the ring, so providing he's not weight
Tea and boxing veteran Amir Khan weighs in calling for patience before Moses steps into waters this deep. Amir Khan's perspective highlights a vital truth. Moses Atama is still just 20 and experience cannot be rushed. Yes, his talent is undeniable, but stepping up against an elite technician like Usyk this early could be career-defining in both good and bad ways. Khan's advice echoes through the boxing world. Greatness takes time, and reckless matchmaking can ruin even the brightest prospects. Facing Usyk now means facing a fighter who has mastered every aspect of the sport. Footwork, timing, counterpunching, and mental composure. Moses might have youth, hunger, and raw power on his side. But the question remains, does he have the patience and ring IQ to compete at this level? Because one wrong move against Usyk won't just cost him the fight.
You want to rush him. You want to take it easy. You want to take it slow. Don't rush him. Let him enjoy. He's still 20 years old. Let him get to 22, 23 years old. And that's then you start putting him in with the top names in boxing, like the Usyks and like the Wilders or even the Joshuas and the Furies. At the moment, I think you should keep on building him. Let him keep on winning.
Eddie Hearn's breakdown perfectly captures the magnitude of this gamble. On one hand, Moses Atama has youth, hunger, and raw power on his side. Traits that make him one of boxing's brightest rising stars. But stepping in against Oleksandr Usyk at this stage, that's a whole different beast. Usyk isn't just a fighter. He's a master technician, a man who dismantled Anthony Joshua twice and outsmarted heavyweight veterans with effortless precision. Hearn's hesitation speaks volumes. At 20 years old, this isn't just about ability. It's about timing, strategy, and experience. If Moses wins, he doesn't just announce himself. He becomes an instant global superstar. But if he loses badly, it could derail his entire career trajectory. The stakes have never been higher for a young prospect. And every decision from here must be calculated.
But at the same time, he may go in there and get absolutely schooled by Oleksandr Usyk. Or he might knock him out. I don't know, but personally...
Goldstein's observation adds a whole new dimension to the press conference chaos. From his perspective, Moses' Thomas slap wasn't just an emotional reaction. It was premeditated, calculated, and perfectly timed. This wasn't a moment of rage. It was a deliberate act designed to grab headlines and get inside Usyk's head. And yet, if Moses truly thinks he can mentally shake someone like Oleksandr Usyk, he might have underestimated the Ukrainian steel-like composure. Usyk has faced far bigger mental warfare in his career, from hostile crowds to dangerous opponents, and emerged unscathed every time. In many ways, this move says more about Moses than it does about Usyk. It reveals a young fighter trying to control the narrative, build his brand, and force the spotlight onto himself. But high-risk strategies come with high consequences. If Atama backs it up in the ring, he becomes a phenomenon overnight. If he fails, this slap could haunt him for...
Need to do it.
No, I think that was all him.
Of course it was. What was amazing about it, right, is his sleight of hand, because when they stood next to each other or in front of each other on the stage, he's empty-handed. So I'm looking at it like from a magician's perspective, thinking, where's the head come from?
Yeah.
But just before the slap...
Eddie Hearn captures the exact shift this rivalry has caused in the boxing landscape. What started as a routine press conference has now transformed into one of the most volatile, hyped, and emotionally charged showdowns in recent history. The slap didn't just make headlines. It became a viral storm, pulling in casual fans, mainstream media, and even non-boxing audiences into the drama. But Hearn's warning is clear. The stakes have now skyrocketed. When fighters cross lines like this, the pressure doubles, the expectations multiply, and the smallest mistakes become career-defining. Usyk, the experienced champion, thrives under these conditions. His calm demeanor hides a relentless warrior prepared for battle. Moses, meanwhile, has invited unprecedented attention. And with that comes the burden of proving he's ready for the moment. Every second inside that ring will now be magnified. Every punch analyzed and every outcome debated. In the fight game, one action can...
And the noise it made, that's where I was sort of like bits were flying everywhere, you know? And like, listen, I think the world we live in today, it'll go viral, people will think it's quite amusing, but I'll just tell you one thing. In the fight game, everything changes now about this fight. Like, you don't want to...
The stage is set and the boxing world is holding its breath. Moses Thomas slap has turned a high-profile showdown into one of the most anticipated clashes in recent memory. This isn't just about belts or rankings anymore. This is about pride, legacy, and proving who truly belongs at the top. For Oleksandr Usyk, this fight is another chance to showcase his technical brilliance, mental toughness, and championship pedigree. For Moses, it's the ultimate gamble. A shot at shocking the world and rewriting history at just 20 years old. Every punch, every second, and every decision inside that ring will define their futures forever. The stakes have never been higher, and the drama has never been bigger. So, what do you think? Are you backing the proven master Oleksandr Usyk, or is Moses Atama about to deliver the upset of the decade?